Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. In my new video I'll show you my two games that I played in my Rapid tournament. In the first round I was paired against a 60-year-old man who told me that he was playing chess for 53 years now, which was quite impressive. And the game started off with d4. I played knight f6, he played knight f3, he played I played e6, he played e3, and I played d4, d5. I was really struggling in the opening. I usually play some kind of Bogo Indian or Nimzo Indian, but he was um, playing something different from what I was used to. I think this is called the call system. Not sure. So I played d5. He played bishop to d3. Uh, I played c5, striking in the center. He played c3, defending his pawn. I played knight to c6. I was not sure of what to do in this position. I was thinking about putting my knight here, but I thought that was too passive because my bishop couldn't move if my knight was here. So that's why I chose to activate my knight in this way. He played knight to d2. I took his pawn. He took back with the e-pawn. And now I played bishop to d3. I was not sure until this point how good my opponent was and of what to expect. So the game continued with castles. I also castled to get my king safe. He played rook to e1. Um, I wanted to play rook to e1 as well, and rook to e8 as well to go for e5, but I was struggling of how to make it work because this pawn would get very weak and it would take too many moves for me in order to play e5. So, for example, if you play rook e8, um, my opponent can do a lot of things, but he can just move his knight here, and I can't go forward. So my rook is doing absolutely nothing in this position. So that's why I came up with a h6. After I played the move, I was a bit afraid of him sacking his bishop in the future, but he played rook to e5. Rook e5 was a good move. Uh, his knight is now very strong in the center, and I tried to figure out of how to make my position better because I'm very cramped up with my pieces. My light squared bishop is not in the game actively, so I was not sure of what to do, and I came up with just taking the strong knight from my weak bishop. He took back with the pawn. Now I figured that I double attack his pawn. So well, I was expecting something like f4 and then queen to b6, but then my opponent played knight to f3, and I was not sure what to do now. I was thinking about queen to c7, but I saw his bishop here, and I was still afraid of the sacrifice, so I figured I must play f5, which was not the best move. He is plus 1.5 right now. Um, what a better move would have been is f6, I think, because it would be more attacking towards his pawn. So, and if he takes, I'll take back with my queen, and yeah, it's better than f5. So, um, he takes f, and then I take with my queen. I was calculating to take with my knight, but I was not sure about this. Perhaps he could have moved his rook to the center, or make a nice attack towards this to this weak pawn, because I can't make it go forward, so I must play rook to e8 or something. But it was very difficult, this position, so I want to make some counterplay and play queen to f6. Then he attacked my knight. So I was in this position also not sure of what to play. I was hoping for to play something like this or a6, but I thought a6 was a bit too passive because he would trade off, and my knight was a bit sleeping on the 7th rank, so I didn't want to play that. So I went for the active knight to e5, because I figured that if he would take, I would take his other knight. Then he can take with the queen, I'll take back with the pawn, and it's not that much worse, I thought. Engine says slightly better for white, but I had some counterplay still, but that didn't happen. He went back with his bishop. I thought it was a bit passive from him, but I don't know how to respond to it, so I developed my bishop, but this move didn't do anything. I think I could better play b6 or something, because my bishop could get on this file, which would have been better in hindsight, but I played bishop to d7. He played bishop to e6, e3. I was in this position afraid of this move, so I didn't know what to play in this position. So from all the moves, I played my rook here. I wanted to make some attack towards his queen, but I just developed my bishop on that square, so it was a bit uh, a bit stupid of me, but yeah. And then he played bishop to d4. I was relieved when I see this move, because he tries to attack my knight, but I can just take his bishop. So that's what that's what I've done. He takes back with his c pawn. I was considering to take his knight, and then his bishop would take, and then my bishop would still be very, very inactive. So, but I wanted to make this a weakness because it's an isolated pawn. It has no pawns next to it. So that's why I moved back, and he played rook to c1. I wanted to play e5 here, but after e5 he could have taken with his pawn, which would have been strong. Then I needed to defend this because his queen is attacking my pawn. But I wasn't happy with this position. This piece would get, this pawn would get very strong, and my queen is a bit doing nothing. So also moves like this, which would defend the pawn and also attack my position, which would crumble later on. I wasn't happy to see this, so that's why I went very aggressive with g5. Yeah, I wanted to remove this knight so I can take this pawn. Then he moved to h3. Then I noticed that my bishop wasn't doing anything, so I brought it back to e8. Then his rook moved back because he was probably afraid of this pawn hanging somewhere down the line. Then I played bishop to g6, trying to develop my bishop to a more active square. Then he plays his bishop here. Now I wasn't really happy to see this position for me as black, because I can't do much. I need to defend this knight because otherwise he will win a pawn. For example, if I do nothing, he will take, I will take, and he will take back with his rook. So that's why I tried to defend it with my rook. He took, I took with my rook, so he would take back, and then I'll take with the pawn. And I thought maybe he would try something like queen to c1, trying to attack this pawn, but I completely overlooked that he can play knight e5. But still, I defended my pawn. And in the game, I actually thought he could play queen to c2, which would hang a queen, but he didn't hang a queen, so he played his queen here. And in this position, I either have to give up this pawn or this pawn, because I can't defend them both, otherwise I will lose one. For example, if I try to defend it in this way, he can just take my c pawn, but if I try to move back my bishop, he will win this pawn. So yeah, I lost my a pawn, and then I started some counterplay with c5. Um, um, it's okay. I thought it was an okay move. I figured he must go here, and I thought I was winning a pawn, but then he could have taken this pawn, which was with check, which I missed. So I went to h8, and then he wanted to trade off his knight, which was okay for me. My bishop wasn't doing anything on e8, so I traded off. And then I had a pass pawn, so I was trying to make that work. I thought I was still a bit unclear of who's better in this position. I think white's a bit better because he has an extra pawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I wasn't sure of what to do, but my rook was undefended, so I was a bit afraid of the position. So I played queen to e5. He moved his pawn forward because it was hanging before, but for example, if I would take in this position, he will take this, and my counterplay just really vanishes. I can play my rook here because he has a nice fork. So that's why I didn't go for this. Went for queen e5. Then I pushed my pawn. I thought this was my way for counterplay. He gave me a check. I moved back. He gave me a check. So I was hoping for a repetition, but he correctly saw that it was not a very good move. Then he moved back. Then I moved my queen to move my pawns forward up the board, but it was a bit too slow. He moved his rook to e1, and then I played my rook to f8 to attack this pawn again. In the future, I hoped that he would not spot that I could take it in the future, but he went back, and he was attacking my e pawn. So the only way to defend this was really to trade off queens. But after trading queens, I just have no counterplay anymore. I still have this one, but he played this. So yeah, if I move my pawn up, he would just stop it, and I can move this one forward because he will take it. And yeah, I don't have much to do. I can move this pawn forward, but all my pawns are hanging in this position, and I don't know. This position felt very lost for me. So uh, that's why I moved my rook behind my pawn, my pass pawn. But he correctly spots that if he doesn't react to it, I will promote. So he reacts. I move my king up the board, and he moves his king up the board. Then I move my king to attack his rook. But yeah, my pawn is still hanging. Oh, my pawn is still hanging, and then he took my pawn. I moved my pawn forward. He moved his pawn forward. I tried to stack my pawn, but it didn't really have anything as for an attack. I figured I can move this here because he would just take the pawn and he will be losing. So I played my king to f6. Was shuffling a bit, but he was defending everything. Now I would try to make some counterplay down this line. He took, and I just resigned, and I was I lost to this person, but yeah, I was pretty disappointed with my result, but I had to learn from this position, from all my mistakes, things I could have done differently. As for the bishop, um, in the future I won't. I will look more closely to other ways to develop pieces that don't do anything like that bishop. So for my second game, I played against a father of two kids at the club. Um, he also plays the daily games on Monday, so I started off with e4. He reacts with e5. I was hoping to get a scotch, but which would go after knight to c6 and then d4, then take back, take back with the knight, and this is the scotch. But he had other plans. He played knight to f6, the Petrov, but I really have to look into this line because I don't know what the best response is. I once learned a line with d4, so I played this. He played knight to c6. I was a bit uh, dumbstruck with this move. I didn't know what to do, so I thought he would just take my pawn or take this way. But no, he moved his knight, so I took his pawn. He took my pawn, and then I played queen to d5, which is pretty common in this position. Uh, the Scotch also has some lines that look similar to this one. It's hard to make anything of your knight in this position. You have to move it backwards, but still, the game goes on in this position. But he chose to check my king. Uh, but after I play c3, he must give up one of his pieces because I attack his knight and I also attack his bishop in this position. So a better move would have been to retreat his knight into safety because I can take it because it's protected by the bishop. And if I would say move this here, he would just block with his knight, which would be annoying. So that would probably have been a better combination, but he tried to check. I blocked with my c pawn, so he moved back uh, with his bishop. So I took his knight. He moved his pawn forward, maybe trying to get some counterplay, but forgetting it would have been check when I take. So I took. He um, placed his bishop in front of his king to get out of the check. Then I took the other pawn. He took with the queen. So I was thinking about playing my bishop here, but I thought, why not play bishop d3, hoping that he will castle short, which actually happened in the game, so I won by checkmate in this very uh, lucky instance. It was just a one move threat. He could have just gone long castles in this position, and I think I'm still better because I have uh, a lot of pieces taken from him already. I won his knight and also a pawn. So yeah, a bit lucky in the last game, but can't complain. So this was the video. Thank you for watching, and hope I see you in the next video. Bye.